We're starting the newspaper review with The Nation major headline. Tinubu, I'm not seeking office on religious grounds. And in other news, Buhari approves 134.7 billion for military veterans. World Bank okays $13.5 million financial plan for Nigeria. Tribunal compels INEC to release Adeleke certificate. UK government launches a $100 million scheme to lift women. And federal government insists on no work, no pay for ASU. Rivers won't vote for president along party lines, says Wike. G5 list equity, justice, fairness as condition for truce. And drunk driver kills general in Lagos. UK urged to intervene in Kanu's trial. Security operatives take over Ekiti Assembly. And finally, courts rejects Mayina's bail application. So many stories. Which are we going with? Okay.
So the federal government is still insisting on the no work, no pay salary for ASU members. This was said by the Minister of Education after the FEC meeting that was had recently. That's the Federal Executive Meeting. And he also, that's the minister, also denied the claim that the teachers were being treated as casual workers. In his words, he said, how can anybody make university lecturers a casual worker? Do you know the meaning of casual worker? If you know the meaning of a casual worker, it is impossible to make a university lecturer a casual worker. And then he was told that the teachers are likely to go on strike. And he said he's not aware, nobody has told him about the strike. He will wait and see when they start up the strike, then they can have a conversation about that. But that they are not going back on the no work, no pay. But the Deputy National President, National Parents Teachers Association of Nigeria, NAPTAN, was appealing to ASU to, soft pedal, saying that the federal government has, answered their requested bid to from 70 to 80%, and they should, just let go of the October salary that wasn't paid in full and go back to class so that the children do not suffer.
Yes, so I have the president. Our president, Buhari, was at the emblem appeal launch for 2023 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration at the council chambers of the presidential villa in Abuja. And during the and at the event, he announced that he had approved of 134.7 billion naira for the payment of security debarment allowances for our nation's veterans. At the event, he also reassured Nigerians that he's going to do his best to make sure by 2023 he hands over to his successor a safe country, with less issues as it's concerns insecurity. He also pledged that the federal government is committed to the welfare of veterans by ensuring prompt payments of their pension and other entitlements. And also he talked about the approval of the SDA again. I remember some weeks back, or even a month ago, I had taken a story where veterans were protesting the fact that they had not been receiving the SDA, and he talked about those who have not been included in this, and that there's going to be a review of their financial, the financial administration for the armed forces, called MAFA 2017, to make sure that everyone that's supposed to be part of it is included. I'm happy to see something like this being done for our veterans. He also asked Nigerians, corporate bodies, we should remember the veterans, the soldiers that lay down their lives and make the ultimate sacrifice for us to live, in peace.
We still have.
Yeah.
Nima, did you take the tribunal?
Yes, I took the tribunal in the motion. So Governor Oyetola's team of lawyers have asked that the INEC registrar in the state present the certificate and the forms with which the governor-elect in Osun State, was campaigned and was picked for elections, asking that the nomination forms and the academic certificates of Senator Ademola Adeleke are used for the nomination. Even in that, in 2018, governorship elections should also be presented. I think, of course, the tribunal is based on whether some of the results were authentic, I think. So the tribunal has compelled, the panel has compelled that they bring that certificate upon the next hearing and have adjourned to the 21st of November for continuation of the hearing.
So I wanted, Morayo has been following the G5 governor stories, and right now we had the governor of Rivers State, Governor Nyesom Wike, was speaking on behalf of the G5 governors. That's Samuel Otom of Benue State, Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, Okezie Ikpeazu of Abia State, Ifeanyi Ngwanye of Enugu State. The 5 of them say that they are not going to be voting along party lines until their demand is complied with. The governor said that they are the G5 have listed what their conditions are. They've listed equity, justice, fairness as the condition for a truce, and on that, starting that condition is for the party chair, PDP national chairman, must step down, giving way for a southerner to take that position. He also mentioned how he regretted campaigning for. He apologized to Shemole that he campaigned against him and all of that. But while we wait for the party politics, let us fine-tune our ears to listen to the real issues and focus on issue-based election. Moving on to the Punch, major headline: Muslim ticket. Friends criticizing me, lobbied for vice president slots. That's from Tinubu, the presidential candidate for APC. And you cannot miss the picture story. There was a raid. Officials of the Lagos State Task Force, during a raid on commercial motorcycles operators, Okada at Abule Egba, Lagos on Wednesday. Other news: surrender mandates if APC loses parties. If APC loses, party tells Buhari. 11 cultists nabbed for terrorizing Lagos neighborhood. APC, RU disagree over bid to win Lagos. Federal government, ASU begins fresh showdown. Minister tackles lecturers. Naira redesign targets looted funds. That's from the EFCC chair. Government planning bank guarantees for Nigeria Ethiopia deal. How delay costly court process frustrates families' access to deceased savings. So, what story are we starting with?
EFCC chairman was granted an interview with Deutsche Welle, the Hausa service, and they were talking about the Naira redesign. And he says the crux of the matter when it comes to the Naira redesign was finding ways for the government to make sure that monies that had been stashed away by people, unscrupulous people, finds its way back into the bank. That how is it that almost 80% of our currency is outside the bank? That means people have become the CBN, And so this particular redesign was really a process of making sure that monies are returned, and also asking Nigerians that if Nigerians or even non-Nigerians, anyone who's aware of anyone that has taken money out and has put it away, that they can tell EFCC about it. They will investigate it, and the whistleblower gets 5% at the end of the investigation. We're just saying that this is just a way for the country to sanitize its financial, ecosystem. And also, going forward, this is something he said that's supposed to have been done every 8 years, but it's been 20 years since we had anything like that. And hopefully, we would see, things get better.
All right.
Yeah, so the Lagos State Police Command on Wednesday confirmed the arrest of 11 suspected cultists terrorizing the Agege area of the state. The Rapid Response Squad made a statement on Twitter, and they said the officers were on parole when the suspects were arrested in a hotel. And they also added that the investigation revealed that the suspects were members of rival cult groups involved in the clash in the area. I don't know if this is related to the viral video we saw of a clash in that area as well. So according to the statement, they said around 2:45 a.m., officers on patrol arrested members of rival cult gangs involved in a violent clash in a hotel in Agege. 4 of them were viciously injured with broken bottles during the fight. They have been transferred to Okoba, Agege Police Division, in line with the directive of the commander, CSP Olayinka Igbeyemi, and I'm sure those people will be prosecuted.
Looking forward to that. So we continue front page review with the Punch. Nima, you have a story.
Yes, so the Ethiopian airline and federal government deal. So the Association of Local Airlines have gone to court, and now they raised a new issue. They raised an issue that the federal government plans to bank guarantee Ethiopian airline, and by extension, this Nigerian airline. They're saying that this is completely unfair to them. These domestic airlines did not stand a chance. They said they also sued and asked the courts for an injunction to stop any further action by the federal government on this. I hope it is the way to go. The details in this article continue to expose many things. And the federal government's only defense is that, when they put out the concessional bid, none of the local airlines applied, only Ethiopian Airline applied. And so I think as a federal government, morally, it is on them to make it easier. If they could have done a bank guarantee for this project, they could have done something that, would encourage local airlines, to come on board rather than carry our business outside. But as they don't carry and go,
but we
there's
also
an
need
injunction
foreign
in court.
investment. Is it not a way to still get the dollar that we're looking for?
Exactly.
No, we see at this point, all this our foreign reliance to get dollar has not been productive because it empowers from outside. We should start to empower from within to earn the dollar, and that's the way to secure us.
So there's a Punch investigation about how difficult it is for families to access funds after the death of relatives, and I think it's something that probably we'll talk about maybe more next week in detail, but it is just so sad. So they portray the story of Kenechukwu Anthony, who lost his mother 2 years before retirement. It's a teacher in Anambra State, and since 2020, they have not been able to access the mom's savings account till now. They also mentioned that in between that, the father got ill and the father died. And that if they had even been able to access the back and forth with the bank has led to a lot of delay. The bank, they've tried to, there's nothing substantial. They took them to court. The court is also dragging the process. We should make it easier for people that are bereaved to access the funds that will probably help them in the accounts of their lost one. And I think it is something we need to shed more light on. Moving on to Daily Sun. Major headline is Atiku outlines 5 focus areas as Tinubu meets scan. In other news, we've taken the story about ASU. Drama as PDP members sweep venue on APC presidential campaign flag off in Jos. That's really dramatic, actually. It's a funny story. Gunmen kill 9 family members in Plateau village. Government orders security to fish out perpetrators. UK channels $100 million to women-owned businesses in Nigeria. Osun, tribunal compels INEC to produce Adeleke's certificate. We're taking that story. We need united Nigeria, says Wike. I'll leave a safer country next year, says Buhari. Approves the 34 billion for military veterans. Tinubu, Umahi, APC governors unveil a Ebonyi Governors Lodge in Abuja. Southern Middle Belt Forum knocks Soludo over attack on Obi. Now, which of these stories are we starting with?
Let me start with the sad story that happened in Plateau State, actually a Katako community in Bokas local government area. No fewer than 9 members of a particular family have been reported dead. They said that gunmen had stormed that community at about 9:30 p.m. when residents were going to bed and were shooting sporadically. Properties were burnt down. Well, the security police is on it. The governor has asked that the assailants be tracked and arrested, and we hope, that this would, that the investigation will lead to the arrest. And the governor is also particularly saying that it's quite worrisome that this is not the first time. It's becoming more rampant in this community for government to have access and kill people and just get away with so many criminalities. So we hope that they find these people and then they are arrested and prosecuted and made a good example of.
And so the British High Commission to Nigeria, Miss Catriona Lyne, yesterday said the United Kingdom government has launched a $100 million program through the First Bank of Nigeria as a direct funding to women-owned enterprises in Nigeria. So they had this ongoing Gender Inclusion Summit organized by the Policy Innovation Center, PIC, an initiative of the Nigeria Economic Summit Group, NESG, in Abuja. And she said the investment is part of the implementation of the UK 3 E's project which is about educating girls, empowering women, and ending violence against women. And they have been carrying out this project for years now. They said they also have been, empowering education for decades now, particularly in the northeast Nigeria. They have supported about 1.4 million additional girls going to school. And these are some of the things that they're doing. And they said that one of the reasons we still have gender issues is because a lot of people are still hiding under social norms, religious norms, behavioral norms, and using them as excuses for not making progress on the issue of gender equality. But right now, they're trying as much as possible to digitize humanitarian services and cash so that women can have access to money easily to be able to empower themselves.
This drama happened at Plateau, on one side of the city, there's a sad story of people getting killed. On another side, it's a political show where supporters of PDP, mainly young people that reside in Jos, they went to where the APC did their flag-off campaign, Rangpam Stadium, and they were sweeping. They said they were sweeping out all that APC brought. That they are committed to sweeping APC out of power in the state. Yet we have a state where people are dying, and I understand that politics is still ongoing. But let us focus on, okay, why are we sweeping these people out? Let your drama also carry a lot of data, because these are young people, and we need to mobilize people with facts, and not just emotion. But it was a really interesting one when I saw the fact that they went to sweep out APC, and that's their own way of showing their displeasure with the government's power.
But I was just wondering if it's counterproductive, since they're using the emblem of APC.
To sweep.
Are you sure you're not further saying
APC is on ground, who knows?
Let's be careful. Spiritual implications.
Okay. All right, so there was another story. Okay, I think it's the same. I'll leave Nigeria safer was the same thing as the... Yeah. Let's move on to Vanguard, major headline. Bill for restructuring, resource control ready. That's from Atiku. Oh, that's a campaign strategy that he has already prepared the bill for resource control. Let's see how that goes. Mile 2, Apapa, talking of access tickets compounds gridlock. I'm sure Nima has that story. Senate in rowdy session over Naira redesign. 2023, Igbo leaders tackle Soludo over comments on Opita Obi. Wike apologizes to Shemole. And Zix posthumous birthday, Nigeria's unity non-negotiable. That's from Ohaneze, Sultan, and Zulum, others. So what are we starting with?
Okay, so Apapa, of course, talking of access tickets. And the e-collab system has been flagged off in Apapa, but this truck transit park system is where you see people, you see touts hawking access tickets, and people coming through that. So the Vanguard did an exclusive with the head of operations of the transit truck park, Irabo Akonoman, who said that they have on several locations arrested these people who caught commercial truckers with access tickets issued to companies operating in the port, and they've handed them over to the police, but they found out that they were released and that they continue to carry out these operations, further compounding the difficult situation between the Mile 2 and Tinkan Port axis. On that axis, there's continuous traffic. And they said that, it's even worse because most of these truckers do not have documents for their truck. They don't have identification numbers. They don't have plate numbers. It's difficult to even trace them and arrest them. And these activities continue to cause hardship on that axis. None of their tickets are counterfeited. They can only be resold to somebody who did not originally book it. So it shows that there's a tight, serious corruption within the system.
Wow.
And this is not the first time we're taking it. I'm taking it from a place of I don't tire safe. So it's just the will. I think the government lacks the will to do the proper thing. Anybody caught doing that, selling those tickets, should first of all be arrested and traced to whoever sold or issued tickets to them.
So I'm taking the story of the Igbo leaders, not just Igbo elders, South, in other papers it showed South, Middle Belt, all attacking Soludo, or here tackling Soludo over his comments on Peter Obi. The Professor Suji says, I'm embarrassed by Soludo's hostility. Professor ABC Nwosu said, Soludo's tirade tirades not ordinary. Something is behind them. And Agege said, I tried calling Soludo, but he's not answering. I'm scandalized. They have both have APGA background. So generally, it's a lot of elders within the South are a bit they are not happy with Soludo's comments, saying that there should be unity from the party end, and it generated a lot of conversation on social media. I don't even know where I start the issue, because I support that there must be unity within your community. If you want me to vote for you, at least your children must vote for you. Your brothers must be willing to vote for you. So if you're campaigning and your brother is saying, I'm not going to vote for you, then how would that convince other people outside to vote? So there are two sides to it, and we also don't want a campaign based on ethnicity that you must support your person because it's from your own region, you know.
Yeah,
so that's why I said.
Also know that that doesn't really matter. I can choose to come out for election, and Nima will say, I'm not voting for you. BC, you are still owing me one small money somewhere. It doesn't mean I'm not credible. It's just that.
Yeah, we have our issue differences.
Yeah.
So final paper that will be taken today, Nigerian Tribune, no going back on no work, no pay for lecturers. That's from federal government. Very sad story that we'll just quickly take. Drunk driver kills general while driving in Lagos barracks. I saw the story online.
Corporal in the Nigerian Army crushed to death the Nigerian Armed Forces Resettlement Center Director of Finance, Brigadier General A.O. James, with his car. Yeah, so according to the story, the elderly man was just walking to his apartment when this drunk corporal just drove and hit him from behind. And then he was rushed to the medical center. He was pronounced dead immediately. They found out that this guy, the corporal, was actually very drunk. So he's been taken into custody for investigation. And I think he should be severely punished. Why are you drinking in...
He's not severely punished. He killed someone.
Yeah,
we know the consequence.
It's so sad. Somebody jogging within his barrack.
He's not manslaughter.
He was drunk.
BC, he was drunk.
It's not our hot topic. We'll take a break.
The consequence is death.
It's very dear. Really sad. I had goes out to the family of the general.
Ended just as much as the person he killed.